In the practice of some of my live coaching stuff, works really awesome in groups, and there's a scenario that we're going to talk about that works even better. But what we got here is our classic sprinter stance that we've talked about oh so many times. We've got double kettlebells here. Josh is going into his hinge position, and what he's going to do is he's just going to crack the bells just off the ground, and then he's going to row. His preferred side is this inside piece, right? So it's that contralateral action. Then he comes up to a deadlift, he comes back down to the ground, and we're going to keep him under tension, so we're not going to let the bells ever go back to the ground. This is my preferred side. I actually like this ipsilateral piece. I like it because it clears. Josh likes the contralateral because it feels a little more stable. It's a great way to think about it. But you just got two progressions there with just one set of bells. So super, super awesome. Now let's think about this from an emphasis standpoint. Say you want to emphasize this hinge a little bit more. You don't have an awful lot of kettlebells, but you want to emphasize maybe a little more of that strength component. Guess what you do? You stick at that bigger bell. So let's imagine that you have 24s and some 12s. You're going to stick that 24 kilo bell on the inside position. You're going to get a little more strength component out of that lift, and if you're rowing like I am out of the deadlift, and if you row with the outside hand like I do, then you're going to put that smaller bell on the outside. It's a really, really awesome way, one, not only to optimize your equipment, but two, to optimize the training effect on both sides of the hinge. So real nice piece here. You can see the setup. Again, your setup, if you've not seen any of our stuff before, you're in just a normal stance, and all Josh has done is slide this left foot rearward just so it lines up with the forward heel. So his right leg is doing most of the work in that deadlift piece, and then obviously he's doing the bent row. It's a fantastic drill. The things you might be looking for is some of this rotation, or typically people want to kick out the side with that hip because they're trying to find stability. They're creating rotation or creating some additional vectors to try to find stability when they're doing this drill. So those are eyeball things to look at, especially if you go to offset bells, right? You can always identify probably rotation happening towards that offset side where that heavier bell is, so you can get the proper cueing. So we'll talk to you in a couple more bits. We got some more kettlebell stuff, and we definitely got Ultimate Sandbag coming your way. Hey folks, welcome into this piece. We're going to go single kettlebell. I want you to think along the lines and think along the lens of probably one of the more popular yet most frustrating from a coaching standpoint kettlebell drills, and that's the Renegade row. Super valuable drill. Probably ends up not being used as much as it should be and could be used, and we're going to take a look at how you might look at accessing it and how there's a lot of strong parallels between what we're talking about today with the deadlift hinge and then the bent row piece, which is also another upper body pull. So Josh is going to use one single bell here. He's in what we're calling a rear step position. This is straight out of DVRT 101. This rear step is super common with our stuff. Very similar concepts. He's got almost all the load on that forward leg. Now you saw our sprinter stance position earlier. There's a little bit more equaling out at the load between the legs here. Josh has got much more. I would put this in like the 70-30 minimum up towards 80-20, maybe 90-10. Like you can put just enough to keep balance on there. So what's the most frustrating part about the Renegade row? It's the rotation, right? People again are using rotation, creating torso rotation to create movement. What happens potentially in this and allow us to roll is to create this rotation, right? So we're looking for Josh to be nice and stable into his hinge. He's nice and braced, he's holding static with that torso or the upper back, and then he creates the pull. Great way to parallel in. Give us a chance and an opportunity to work towards the Renegade row if you've had some troubles with that. If you can't, this is a great solution for finding those things. Just this rear step deadlift. So you still got some great movement patterns we're still working on. If you're into the crawling pieces and those things, we've got these opposite pieces working together. It's a really fantastic piece. And of course, we still have working on that isometric piece with the upper back as well as the active strength work. So talk to you soon. Can't wait to share the DVRT stuff with you.